Hey, good morning. Dr. Cook here. It's a beautiful day in Michigan. Almost 80 degrees today. Can you believe it? At the coming up in May. We're going to go over a program today talking to you about how to garden without getting injury and the follow-up of having back pain afterwards. So just a few tips I want to give you. There's 6 overall. So let me start with that. I'm going to talk about number 1 though. We're going to talk about warming up, okay? And when we want to warm up, the biggest thing, if we go out and we're cold, our muscles are tight, you're definitely prone to injury. So a simple, what I call the rake mobility program is simply take your rake. Start out with that. What you're going to do is take your body through a range of motion. So let me show you how that looks like. So what you're going to do is hold the rake out in front, just turn your head to one side and rotate your body as well. Come back to center, rotate your head again, rotate your body. These are great warm-ups for the neck and upper back. We're going to laterally bend and laterally bend to the other side. And last one is we're just going to push up to the sky and then down towards our toes. Okay? That's for the upper back. For the lower back, we're repeating the same thing, but more motion for the lower hips and the lower back. So you're just going to do some rotation and rotation. And you're going to do some lateral bending and bending. This one, we're going to go down towards our toes. And again, we're going to extend up for our lower back and hold for a couple seconds and back to neutral position. That's part of the warm-up. Number 2 is that it's a really good idea to take a little bit of a walk before you start into the garden or the yard, because you want to, again, warm up those muscles so they have more blood flow, more flexibility, and less prone to injury. So the next thing we're going to do, I'm just going to walk over here and grab it for you, is I recommend when you're out gardening, we like to use a brace. And why do we do that? It's to hold everything together, also to remind you to have good posture when you're working in the garden. So I'm just going to get this in the right position. So there's an L up here telling me it's on the upper side. I want to bring that around my back. And the way you put a brace on, because most people don't do it right, is tuck your tummy in, pull it tight, get adjusted, and then there's 2 side panels same way. You can get these braces at Lowe's or Home Depot or any place that large hardware stores will carry these for you. So wearing a brace is going to help you. Actually, what we want to do is maintain good posture and actually cause a good tummy tuck too, so that's always good in itself. But what this does, again, it's going to present a better posture for you, remind you not to use so much of your muscles in your lower back, and that's what we want to talk about. So the next thing I'm going to talk about real quickly is then, let's get into doing some yard work. The big thing that I see in the office with patients coming in, they've actually done things wrong, not necessarily the garden experience itself, but the maneuvering is wrong. Give me an example. If I was going to go pick this bucket up to put some dirt in it, if I do this, I'm standing facing towards you, and I rotate, you are in big trouble, because that rotation is going to cause too much stress and too much pull in the lower back. If you're doing any type of lifting, whether it's bags of mulch or bags of dirt, always make sure you present yourself to that area, flex at the knees, keep the lower back in a nice flex position, lift from here. You see what I'm saying? Now with that in mind, if I lift from this position, from here, this weighs 5 pounds. If I lift from this position, now I'm reaching out and up, that now turns into 500 pounds of stress on your lower back. You are asking for injury if you do it that way. So make sure you don't do that, and try to keep the right moment of bending and lifting. Next thing, raking and shoveling. Here's my rake. Let me grab that. Raking, same way. Again, what we're thinking about is good posture. We want to make sure that our posture is upright. We don't want to get into a slouch position, or we allow this lower back curve to become flat. So when we're raking, think about staying, like I said, in an upright posture, using your arms, pushing and pulling, okay? That'll help you. What we don't want to see is this. Okay, follow me? So what we want to make sure you do is you're in an upright position, and then you can move that rake back and forth. The other tip to raking and shoveling is that you're actually going to switch to the opposite hand, so you're not using the same muscles over and over again. You want to switch back and forth, again, using good posture, pulling and pushing with arms, not your back, okay? Same thing with shoveling. Let's show you that real quick. If I was to shovel some dirt, I got a big load in the yard, I'm going to come down like this. This is really big, bad news. You see what I'm saying? What we want to do is shovel, lift, and then turn, and then drop. That'll help you from, again, a lot of rotation and twisting of the lower back, which is probably the most common injury during gardening out there in your yard work. Okay, so next one. What I want to talk about is taking frequent breaks. You know, you want to hydrate. Use a lot of H2O. I always carry my water with me. You're going to sit down for a few minutes. If you start to get winded, you want to make sure you take a break and relax for a few minutes, then get back to the job. What I also want you to avoid is caffeine. Caffeine is a vasodilator like Coca-Cola or any other ones that have caffeine, those kind of drinks or sports drinks that may have overloaded caffeine. You want to watch that because it could raise your heart rate and raise your blood pressure. That's not only going to cause damage to your back or body because of dehydration, but it's actually going to cause you to have heart trouble. So take those few tips. The last one is cool down. When I say cool down, what you want to do is before you go back into the house, you're going to go back and you're going to repeat exactly what we started with. We're just going to do that range of motion again. We're going to go left to right, side to side, bending, stretching, then take maybe a little walk, and then you'll be all set to go back in the house and cool down and just try to relax after a long day of good work. Hey, listen, I hope you got a little bit of information about that. I know there's 6 simple tips that we gave you today. I'm sure it'll help you. You want to enjoy because it's a great way to get exercise out there when you're doing yard work and gardening. Good for the mind, good for the spirit, good for the body. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you next time. Take care.